Hello, thanks for tuning in and welcome to the pool party. I hope you can swim because we're definitely diving into the deep end with a huge splash of truth, facts, evidence, information, and proof. Swim. Say what you mean. It's talk about talking. How we listen, how we hear, how we speak, how we hear what we're listening to when we speak, how a listener hears what we're saying, if what we're saying, what they're actually hearing and or understanding. Is it clear? Swim. Say what you mean. Well, that's just the beginning of understanding, because after we get that understanding, how do we accept it? How we respond if it's not what we expect is paramount. Are you okay with the truth? Are you man, woman, human, or spiritual enough to accept the truth? Let's find out. Welcome to The Swimming Pool with your host, Travis Bridges.
Good morning. It's early Sunday morning. I didn't sleep too well last night, although I went to bed rather early. So I'm now coming to you live from the Bedside Baptist Church. I'm just going to tell a story right now. I'm thinking back to when I was about 8 or 9 years old. I began to realize that my situation and circumstances were different from other people that I started to observe. I realized that my family situation was a type of dysfunction in that I came from a single parent household, and some of my other friends had a mom and a dad. Of course, when you're 8 or 9 years old, you don't understand the fullness of that. Somehow or another, you just tuck that away inside your soul and just move on with life. As life went on for me as a little boy, I also could see and maybe even feel the difference in how, for one, I felt inside, and how sometimes I felt I was responded to because of my circumstances. I came from a poor section of town, and whether people admit it or not, you are maybe not judged by where you're from, but I guess it speaks some type of volume. And as a little boy, things like that and many other things along the way started to collect inside of my soul, I guess. It's like a snowball rolling down a hill. It starts to pick up certain things, and it becomes larger the closer it gets down the hill. And I guess as life went on, I began to pick up things that began to shape and mold who I became, even to this very point. I'm reminded, even as I speak, of why I stopped watching the news maybe 4 or 5 years ago. There was a time I used to wait to see what was happening, and somehow or another that would get inside of my head, and of course that too shaped and molded my day, at least. But I would hear headlines, and at the end of the headline I'd see a face attached to something negative that looked like mine. I won't say any more about that, but I do know that a great part of my life from childhood involved knowing that I was better than, for one, how I felt inside, and two, I was better than how I believed I may have been perceived on the outside. I guess it works hand in hand. If I felt better about myself, maybe I wouldn't have thought other people didn't see the good or the best in me. But it's neither here nor there. I guess the point I'm making now is I developed a type of complex as to where I really wanted people that I encountered to see the best in me. Maybe because of how I felt or how I thought someone else felt. I just wanted the better and the best sides of me to shine. So, as life went on, I found myself making efforts to show the best parts of me. Starting with my levels of commitments. Some way, somehow, I thought that I don't know, I guess trying to complete something said something, it meant something. Being committed to something meant something. And the first thing that pops in my head now is, well, you weren't committed to your weight. Well, I guess that was one of the things I guess I could say I struggled with. Key word there is struggle. Maybe it is something I could have overcome an easier way. But I guess I'm trying to stay focused now. I do know that my personality definitely was created at a young age. And even to this point, even with what developed from my COVID concert series into now my swim broadcast, Say What You Mean and Mean What You Say, it's always been inside of me. It's just now starting to show in a different way. I have been led and convinced that there is an answer to every question, and there's a solution to every problem. Just not everybody finds those answers or those solutions. And kudos to those that do. The idea that people could talk or people should talk to each other until they reach a resolution. Maybe that was just a pipe dream inside my head. Maybe the universal principles that I talk about, the points of references, and even law, maybe those things really don't matter. One of my dear friends, I call her my life coach, she would sometimes try to express to me that a person's reality is, I guess, their truth. And what a person is convinced of is something you can hardly ever break, regardless of what kind of principles you place in front of them, what kind of points of references or law. Maybe she could see my point. But then again, maybe I could not see hers. And I'm starting to realize that for some reason, I thought that I would be the person to bring awareness to listening and hearing and trying to come to a resolve. But I'm having to accept the harsh reality that maybe, just maybe, there is no such thing as a resolve. For some reason, a person's reality is their truth. And maybe a person's truth is the truth. Who am I to suggest that what a person feels deep inside or what they believe is not true to them? And again, at this very moment, the harsh reality of the possibility that there may not be an answer to every question or a resolution or, a solution to every problem. Maybe it's the harsh reality that I have to accept. And it's what I'm doing at this very moment. Just accepting it. Whether I believe it or not, maybe that's irrelevant. But I'm going to close this swim broadcast with the possibility that even I, the father of believing that there's a resolution or a solution to every problem and an answer to every question, maybe there isn't. It won't stop me from my beliefs or what's deep inside of my soul, because I am convinced that everyone's true reality should at least be heard, whether or not it should be tried against universal principles, points of references, or law, is something I will just leave on the table. Maybe some other brilliant mind will help determine whatever it is inside of me that I've been trying to get out, especially as of late. Because up until this point, maybe I have not succeeded. But with that being said, I'm going to take what I've gathered and leave it at this point. Whatever becomes of it, becomes of it. Perhaps I'll continue maybe on a different path. I don't know. But I'm going to take everything that I've brought to the table and just to leave it on the table. I won't try to convince anybody anymore of anything or try to point out how anything can be resolved or solved within the mind of anyone else. Maybe that's the overall point and message for me. To let what is just simply be. I am not God. So, I'll just leave it there. Whenever I'm confronted with anything that I can express or share or explain, I'll do my best at that moment to do so. But the greatest lesson in everything that I've tried to share has been, maybe it's not my place to convince anyone of anything, but to try to stay as focused on myself as I can and do the best that I can with whatever life I have left. And I guess if I was going to encourage anybody, because I don't know, I guess that's part of me. Be yourself. Know yourself. Be okay with what you discover about yourself. Don't try to convince anyone of anything, ever. There's something about innocence, truth, and the truth that really does speak for itself. Whether it's today, yesterday, or tomorrow, it is what it is. Just as he is who he is, and or I am that I am. It is what it is. Thank you for listening.
The gain of a loss. There are no losses, only opportunities to learn and grow. To promote the idea that we lose when a clock stops personally or professionally is certainly a loss for a mind that thinks, feels, or believes as such. It's because of a lack of knowledge that we suffer unnecessarily. Just as it is better to give than to receive, the opportunity to move on from a situation that either no longer shares the same interests or that you discover irreconcilable is not a loss at all, but an opportunity to become a better you. No glass is half empty or half full. However, there could be an opportunity for less water or more glass. How about more vessels in general? No? Perception may not always be reality, but it can change the quality of our lives. Can we actually see what we're looking at? Or does thoughts, feelings, and beliefs blindly strong-arm truth? The gain of a loss. There are no losses, only opportunities to learn and grow. SWYM. Swim. Say what you mean. As much as this information is designed to bring awareness to how we listen, hear, and process, it is also a form of therapy. The little person inside of all of us needs to be heard. As adults, even listening to ourselves is a form of healing, strengthening, and growth. It's okay to speak, talk, express yourself, and be heard, even if you're the only listener. If our testimony does anything at all for anyone else, that makes the continued effort worth the time. Get the words out. You'll feel better, and that's a promise. Thanks for tuning in. We really appreciate it.
You know, sometimes it seems like all the good times are gone. But you got to keep on searching. You got to keep on keeping on. Keep on keeping on. For example, take me standing right here today. I would not be here with you if I believed the things that the people say. You got to keep on searching. Keep on